Association versus the Secretary of State for Housing, Communities and Local Government. Justices Dingemans and Leven found against the claimants' 4 grounds and dismissed the case. IPAC has been privileged to support the residents in their efforts to stop the mega embassy, and I'm pleased to announce today that solicitors for the claimants, Leigh, together with counsel, have already been instructed to seek permission to appeal. The fight continues, and we all want to win this case and to stop the embassy. It's worth emphasising for those feeling discouraged by today's judgment that we have together already prevented the Chinese Communist Party from breaking ground at Royal Mint Court for more than 7 months. The legal challenge was funded by over 4,000 donations from members of the public, and your help will be needed again in order for us to appeal. Those wishing to help can donate by visiting GoFundMe crowdfunder named Save Us from the Mega Embassy or using the QR code behind me. I'm now going to give over to Mark Nygate from the Royal Mint Court Residents Association for the claimants.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Nygate. I represent the claimants, the Royal Mint Court Residents Association. That's 100 families living on diplomatic lanes. While you were obviously disappointed with today's judgment, we knew this was going to be a long haul, and we intend to go all the way. We also knew that in the case of this significance, it was going to be unlikely that the courts would find in our favour in the early stages. We believe that our claims make arguments that will stand a greater chance of success at appeal, or if the case goes as far as the Supreme Court. This is a huge case with consequences that go far beyond planning law, far beyond the residents, far beyond the local community. It is about our country. It isn't just a David and Goliath battle. It is a David versus 2 Goliaths. Us, the residents, versus the Chinese and UK governments. And it is a battle that is too important to give up. At this stage, it isn't just about our homes and our future. It isn't even about the amazing groups who have backed our campaign, and we thank all of them. It is a battle that is important to give up. It's at the stage, it isn't just about us. This is about our homes and our future. It's even about the amazing groups that backed us to this campaign. It's about the country we want to be. Please support our judicial review crowdfunder so we can fight this embassy to the very end. And I reiterate, our crowdfunder page is Go Save Us from the Mega Embassy. Thank you.
My name is Cheung, and I'm one of the Hong Kongers who moved to the UK with a 1 million Hong Kong dollar bounty imposed by the Chinese Communist Party because I speak up against them. We are disappointed by today's decision, but this is not the end of our fight. For many people, this is not just about a building. It is about whether people can truly feel safe here in Britain. As someone targeted by the Chinese Communist Party, I know why it is important that Britain protects itself from foreign intimidation. I came to Britain to find safety, and I do not want to spend the rest of my life looking over my shoulder. Even if this decision creates fear, disappointment, and make people feel vulnerable, fear will not determine what we do next. We will continue to stand up, speak out, and fight for our rights. We will continue supporting the residents through every legal avenue available. We knew this would be a long fight, but we will not walk away because the stakes are too high. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Sir Iain Duncan Smith, a Member of Parliament and one of the co-chairs of the Interparliamentary Alliance on China. It is a cross-party organisation with Labour, Liberal and other MPs in Parliament also involved with it. And we have throughout supported the residents who have been dismissed really and forgotten by this government in their rush to try and get the Chinese demands settled. And that is why we are here today. So this judgment today leaves open in clearly three particular areas for us to be able to appeal, where it was more of an argument rather than an absolute judgment. And so on that basis, we will support the residents, as you can see behind this, and you've already heard, because it is about them, and it is about a government of this country understanding the rights and the liberties of British people. Those today are represented by the residents. It's a very murky arrangement over this embassy, and much of the evidence that we've given out should really set pulses racing over just exactly how this all came about. And even as we witness this, we think of a government in China, the Chinese Communist Party, that has trashed the Sino-British Agreement, that is threatening countries like the Philippines and Vietnam over the South China Seas, has illegally taken possession of the South China Seas. It threatens to invade Taiwan. It's carrying out a genocide in Xinjiang, a very identifiable one. The millions of men are now in slave labour camps. Women are being forcibly sterilised, and the children are in re-education camps. They tolerate no disagreement, and they do not understand the concept of the freedom and the rule of law that underpins it. We do not. And so we will fight this on with the residents, because it is all about them, and it's about allowing this country, or making this country in a way, represent ordinary people's views and feelings and concerns. And we think, therefore, and believe that this is worth appealing again as far as it can possibly go, because this is a critical component of the freedoms that we believe we possess in this country, and justice for those who will be hounded and are hounded today under transnational repression, Chinese hunting them across the UK. All of that is part of this. So this appeal is critical, and we believe we can yet win this. Thank you.
Okay, let's take some questions, please. I'm pleased that Ricky Gama from Leigh is here to deal with some of the legal questions. Could I have a show of hands for whoever wants to ask one? I think I did promise the Guardian, I don't know where the Guardian is, wanted to ask a question. Can't see them. Okay, let's go to you, Chris.
What were the grounds for rejecting the judicial review?
The court rejected 4 of our grounds of challenge. We'll be appealing on 3 of those grounds. The first relates to the diplomatic status of the land and whether the controls that were put in the planning permission can be properly enforced given that status. The second relates to information about bomb and terrorist risks to the site and the failure to disclose that information to residents and the public. And the third relates to the failure to properly safeguard the human rights of residents. Yes, next.
Alistair Small from Reuters. In the press release it said that you have a better chance in the higher courts for success with the appeal. Can you just explain why that is?
The hope is that having a panel of Court of Appeal judges will mean that we have a braver panel that is willing to make what will be a controversial decision.
Mark talking about being against nuclear and do you feel like this ruling was politically?
No.
Next question.
Hi, Lizzie Times. Do you have any kind of message for Andy Burnham, or are you going to try to see what Andy Burnham?
I think at this stage, given that it's in the courts, it probably wouldn't be appropriate to do so. However, if the government decided to drop their side, they could do at any time. We are not currently seeking those meetings. I don't know if you want to add anything.
No, nothing sad.
Can I answer that question?
Go for it.
As a politician, I do intend to speak to Andy Burnham whenever I possibly can. I've known him for a long time, and I do believe he's a fair individual. Not specifically about this case, but about China policy. We've already witnessed the invidious sight of a British Prime Minister being shoved around on a red carpet, lectured by President Xi, with an absolute refusal to the British Prime Minister to really conduct any serious negotiations until this embassy had been agreed. In other words, we were pushed around because they want this above all else. And I think it's important for Britain to recognise that actually doing business with China is very difficult, very dangerous, and comes with all sorts of problems, as you've seen for many of the transnational repression that goes down on individuals. So I will be speaking to him and this newly reshuffled cabinet in the hope that they will understand that the price we pay when we kowtow to China is in human lives. Millions are dying, and the transnational repression today in Britain will only increase if this embassy is agreed to. So I certainly will be speaking to him.
Any other questions? Can't see any others. Okay, that concludes the press conference. Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for coming. Thank you. Thanks.